What's up, YouTube? It's your boy B Boy Snatch on TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got plenty to go around. Happy Monday towards everybody. As you can tell by the title of the thumbnail of the video, this is my AEW Forbidden Door review and highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end, because I give you guys the full review, not the half of my review. Hit that like button and subscribe to my channel because I'm on the road to 11K before August. Follow all my social media down below in the description, and go check out my WWE NXT Great American Bash that I did on review on house that I did on the channel yesterday. So go check that out. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, AEW Forbidden Door was a 10 out of 10. This was a good pay-per-view, and I enjoyed it. Even though it was too long, but I still enjoyed it because we got a lot to talk about and we got a lot to go over. It says we kick things off at ringside as the Young Bucks make their entrance first to a big pop. Out next is Shingo Taki and Titan of Unbound to a nice pop from the crowd. All that topped by the reaction to the arrival of Melisco and Mascara Dorada, helped in large part by that banger of the theme tune for Melistico. As EI Sky team heads to the ring, big Melisco chant from the legendary luchador as we get this match underway. So we get a 6-man tag team match: the Young Bucks versus EI Sky team versus Unbound. This was a fun match for what it was. Justified the holy you-know-what chance as we start off with Melisco and Titan. Melisco looks for a handshake and Titan obliged before catching Melisco by surprise with a dropkick and some stumps. The two get to trade offense until Melisco takes Titan down with the head scissors takedown, but in the process, Nick Jackson gets a tag as does Dorada. Nick Jackson avoids the offense of Dorada before both hit a drop kick and they jump back to their feet. Nick Jackson gets headlocked on Titan as Matt tagged himself in, and the Young Bucks take control with a double team effort while keeping Shingo off the apron. Dorada hits the ropes, but is caught by the Young Bucks, only to take them to the mat with an arm drag. Shingo makes the tag to get in, but Dorado sends him to the ropes, where Shingo takes him down with a shoulder tackle before making a tag to Titan. Unbound are now in control as they chop at the chest of Dorado, keeping him off his game before Titan lands a springboard splash for a 2 count. Dorado dodges an attack by Shingo on his way up and makes the tag to Melisco, who takes him out of the ring. Melisco gets caught by the Young Bucks, but Dorada comes in with an assist before being taken down to the mat. Super kicks by the Young Bucks send Shingo out as they approaches him, while Dorada intercepts a turnbuckle attack from Titan. Melisco joins in, and all three drop on the top of Shingo as the Young Bucks EI Sky team takes control as they bring Titan back into the ring. A double team culminating in a big power slam by Dorada for 2. Dorada is met with a locomotion suplex by Matt Jackson, who takes out Titan as well before Shingo lays him out with a back elbow. He brings Dorada to the corner for the tag and throws him out of the ring after. Titan and Shingo with a double team on Matt Jackson for a 2 count before Nick Jackson comes in with a fury of offense, sending them to the mat with an arm drag. Melisco gets a tag and takes the Young Bucks out with an arm drag of his own before EI Sky team lands a double Tiger Fin kick on the pair. They leave the ring before safety, but it doesn't last long as Dorada lands a shooting star press from the middle rope, sending the rest of the men to the floor. Chaos ensues as all 6 men return to the ring, trading super kicks on other strikes before Shingo gets laid out by Sky team and the Young Bucks. These duels turn their attention to each other with another period of offense until everyone is laid on the canvas. The four get to their feet in each corner. Shingo is back up and lands a back elbow on the Young Bucks and Dorada, only for Melisco to dodge it, landing a kick in the corner on the Dragon instead. Shingo catches him with a slam, but is taken out by the Young Bucks before Dorada lands a shooting star press, allowing Melisco to set him up for a La Malista, La Mystica. Alright. Shingo is refusing to quit, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. As the Young Bucks breaks it up, Titan gets involved, sending them away before working with Shingo to land a double foot stomp on Dorado. But the Young Bucks are right back at it, landing some super kicks on Unbound. Shingo fends them off, but is caught by Dorado, and the distraction is enough for the Young Bucks to take control. The fan of the EI Sky team and sends Shingo out of the ring before landing a TK driver on Titan to pick up the win. The winner of the match by pinfall, the Young Bucks. This was a fun 6-man tag team match, what it was. The Young Bucks leave the ring to celebrate on the ramp as we go to a video package from Kenny Omega taking on Zack Sabre Jr. in this year's dream match for Forbidden Door. Back at ringside, Zack Sabre Jr. makes his entrance to a nice reaction from the crowd. Out next is Kenny Omega, seemingly getting the album cut off this theme as into the intro of familiar to me, but he gets a pop as well as he heads to the ring to get this match on the way. But I gotta take a sip of my water before I continue. Alright. So we get the next match. So we get Forbidden Door Dream match. Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. This match right here, this match was fantastic. The two-man trace offense with Zack Sabre Jr. taking control as he takes Kenny Omega to the mat. Kenny Omega breaks free, getting back to his feet to look for an edge and a test of strength. Kenny Omega managed to do so, only for Zack Sabre Jr. to get back up as he rolls through for leverage. Kenny Omega starts to regain control before Zack Sabre Jr. breaks free, forcing him to the corner as he poses in confidence. Zack Sabre Jr. goes after the hand of Kenny Omega with some stomps before catching him with a shoulder tackle in the corner. Kenny Omega fights back as Zack Sabre Jr. to the mat with a hurricanrana before Zack Sabre Jr. rolls to the outside, only to be taken to the floor with a dive by Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega starts to walk away before Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't take well to that as he goes back after the former AEW World Champion's hand some more. Kenny Omega fights back with a strike, only for Zack Sabre Jr. to respond in kind. He takes a chop that sends him to the knee. Sends him to a knee. And Kenny Omega has an opening as he grabs Zack Sabre Jr. by the head and slams him into the nearest announce table. The referee is admonishing him, but Kenny Omega pays little mind as he stomps away at Zack Sabre Jr. some more before taking a lid off the announce table and slams it into Zack Sabre Jr., allowing him to go to the apron for a double foot stomp, dropping the tabletop onto Zack Sabre Jr. He gets the former IWGP Heavyweight Champion onto the table now, but Zack Sabre Jr. fights back, only for Kenny Omega to land some hard strikes to wear him down. Zack Sabre Jr. stops him from going for a suplex, trying him up in an octopus hole on the table, with both men falling off, where Kenny Omega takes a brunt of the damage. Zack Sabre Jr. is enjoying this as he heads back to his feet and in the two to the ring, intercepting a return Kenny Omega to stomp at his hand and arm. Zack Sabre Jr. gets a justified "You're a you know what." chant from the crowd, something he enjoys as he goes back to work on Kenny Omega's arm. He lands a boot to the hand before the referee forces him to back off, and he does just for a bit before landing an uppercut. Kenny Omega fights back with a strike, but is sent back to the corner, where Zack Sabre Jr. lands a boot, only for Kenny Omega to follow him across the ring for one of his own. Kenny Omega turns things around with some more strikes, forcing Zack Sabre Jr. to leave the ring to the ringside, where Kenny Omega drops him to the floor with a dive over the ropes. He brings Zack Sabre Jr. back into the ring, favoring his arm as he goes to the turnbuckles for a drop kick, covered by Kenny Omega, but it only gets a 2. Kenny Omega continues to attack before Zack Sabre Jr. heads to the corner, where he catches the arm of Kenny Omega before attacking it some more. Kenny Omega breaks free, and the two trade some more strikes. Zack Sabre Jr. gets caught with a knee strike by Kenny Omega, who takes a hard forearm by Zack Sabre Jr. in response, but still managed to send him to the mat with a Snapdragon suplex. Snapdragon suplex. Zack Sabre Jr. is barely able to get to his feet before Kenny Omega lands another one for a good measure, following up with some knees to the ribs. He takes Zack Sabre Jr. to his back before covering a near fall. Before bringing Zack Sabre Jr. to his feet, where Zack Sabre Jr. rolls him up for a near fall of his own, only for Kenny Omega to roll through. Cross arms doesn't get a chance in as Zack Sabre Jr. managed to break free. Kenny Omega gets back to his feet, turning Zack Sabre Jr. around for a Snapdragon, but Zack Sabre Jr. spins through for an armbar. Instead, Kenny Omega struggles before rolling through, getting to the ropes to force a break. Zack Sabre Jr. goes right back on the arm as he stumbles away at it. Kenny Omega slowly gets back to his feet to land some chops on Zack Sabre Jr., who responds with a kick to the arm. He goes for it again, but this time Kenny Omega blocks it to send Zack Sabre Jr. to the mat. Kenny Omega looks to go for something, but drops Zack Sabre Jr. due to his arm. Zack Sabre Jr. starts to get an opening, but gets sent to the corner instead, where Kenny Omega connects with the V trigger. That drives Zack Sabre Jr. face first into the turnbuckle, and now it seems Kenny Omega has a nasty idea as he brings Zack Sabre Jr. onto his shoulders before climbing the turnbuckles for what appears to be an avalanche one-winged angel. But Zack Sabre Jr. gets a hold on Kenny Omega to stop it. This turns out badly for him as Kenny Omega drops to the mat, dropping his opponent down in the process as Kenny Omega gets to his feet, landing a set of knee strikes on Zack Sabre Jr. As the crowd roars in approval, Kenny Omega backs off for a running knee, but Zack Sabre Jr. blocks it, twisting Kenny Omega around for a ankle lock. No, Kenny Omega breaks free, sending Zack Sabre Jr. up for a reverse runner that drops Zack Sabre Jr. down hard. Kenny Omega with the cover, but Zack Sabre Jr. kicks out. Zack Sabre Jr. gets to the ropes, and Kenny Omega goes for a V trigger, but Zack Sabre Jr. dodges it, rolling him up with a neck bridge for a close near fall of his own. Kenny Omega keeps up the pressure, forcing Zack Sabre Jr. to the ropes for a V trigger that connects this time. He goes for a one-wing angel, but Zack Sabre Jr. breaks free and rolls him up tight for another 2 count. He catches Kenny Omega with a Zack driller, but this also gets a near fall as Kenny Omega managed to kick out. Both men fight to their feet, trading strikes along the way until Kenny Omega catches Zack Sabre Jr. with a Snapdragon, followed by a knee strike. He holds Zack Sabre Jr. up for the one-wing angel, but Zack Sabre Jr. turns it around to go for a triangle hold. Kenny Omega looks like he's fading, only to find his way back to his feet for a single arm powerbomb. that draws Zack Sabre Jr. down hard. He lands one more knee strike and a one-winged angel, and this one connects as Kenny Omega picks up the win. The winner of the match, winner of the match by pinfall, Kenny Omega. This was a good match. All right, Kenny Omega celebrates in the ring as Zack Sabre Jr. takes his leave, allowing the best bout machine to have his moment. Kenny Omega leaves the ring as we go to a video package hyping up the AEW Continental Championship bout between Jon Moxley and Bandito. We head back to ringside as Bandito makes his entrance first for this match. Out next is Jon Moxley making his way through the crowd per normal before getting to the ring to get this match underway. So we get AEW Continental Championship match. Jon Moxley defends against Bandito. This was a pretty good match for what it was. Jon Moxley takes control early with a waistlock, circling around for a front face lock, only for Bandito to get back to his feet and breaks free. Jon Moxley doesn't let up, however, gaining a waistlock before Bandito rolls through to get out of the grip. He wings the champ's arm now, only for Jon Moxley to break free and mocks Bandito with his own pose. Bandito responds by getting the crowd to call Jon Moxley something I can't repeat in this recap. Jon Moxley starts to do something similar before flipping off Bandito, and we go back to work on a trading of offense between the two. Jon Moxley hits the ropes and leaps over Bandito's leg, and the two trade verbal jabs some more before Bandito lands a chop. Jon Moxley gives one of his own to the Ring of Honor World Champion, and the two go back and forth on this until Bandito drops to a knee. They go back at it with Jon Moxley shifting to body shots before Bandito intercepts him with a dropkick. Jon Moxley invades a dodge, landing a dropkick to the knees of the luchador before diving through the ropes to send him to the floor. He brings his challenger back in the ring, but this only allows Bandito to land a dive of his own, sending Jon Moxley to the floor. He brings Jon Moxley back in the ring but Jon Moxley fights back with a double boot from the corner. He sends the luchador out of the ring, setting up the ring steps before looking for a pile driver, and it connects, sending Bandito head into the steel. Jon Moxley raised his hand to frighten unconscious as the referee goes to check on Bandito. We get another look at the challenger, who is busted open, and Jon Moxley sees blood in the water, so to speak, as he takes a bite out of his opponent. He brings the luchador back to the ring by his mask, which he then starts ripping away, add to a big round of boos from the crowd. Jon Moxley circles around his opponent and egging him on as Bandito lands a forearm on the champ, only to be dropped back to the mat. Jon Moxley lands some hard shots over and over until the referee intervenes. Bandito gets to his feet in the corner, where Jon Moxley lands a fury of shots before the luchador takes him off the turnbuckle with a powerbomb to the mat. Bandito adjusts his mask before getting to his feet. With Jon Moxley back up, they're trading shots back and forth again. Jon Moxley goes after the mask and this rallies Bandito up as he takes the champ to the corner. As the champ punches Jon Moxley, fanning him back, but takes a dropkick on his way out. Jon Moxley is up and sends Bandito to the corner, only for Bandito to fight back with a knee strike for a 2 count. Bandito gets to his feet and holds Jon Moxley with one arm for a press slam before climbing up top for a fall splash onto the knee of the champ. John Moxley seems fired up as he gets back to his feet, and does Bandito. They go back and forth on strikes once more, each using the ropes for momentum in the process. Big kick by Bandito, followed by a German suplex. He goes for a 21 plex, but gets caught with a lariat by the champ, who falls with a Death Rider DDT in the cover, only for the challenger to kick out. John Moxley mocks the luchador once again before bringing Bandito to the corner, setting up for some sort of Death Rider, but Bandito bites back to fight back, sending John Moxley for a moonsault and batter off the top rope, covered by Bandito, but the champ managed to kick out this time. John Moxley goes to the ropes for a leverage on his way back up, allowing Bandito to go for a 21 plus, but John Moxley turns it around. Turns it around for it says turns it around for a choke on the ropes. He pulls the challenger in to cinch the whole in, but Bandito rolls through for a cover and a 2 count. John Moxley rolls through this time, cinching the whole in deep. Bandito powers his way up to his feet, the champ still on his shoulders, until Bandito draws him into the mat. But the champ still has the hold in tight and gets a body scissors locked in. And Bandito is out. The referee calls for the bell. The winner by submission is still your AEW Continental Champion, John Moxley. This match was fantastic as well, too. John Moxley takes a moment to celebrate the win as Brody King comes down to check on his tag partner. John Moxley calls him away before bringing Bandito to the center of the ring for a handshake, showing a bit of respect before leaving the ring with his title and lead through the crowd as we go to a video package for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship as Shota defends against Pac. Alright, we head back to ringside as Pac makes his entrance through the crowd. This is followed by the arrival of the champ, with Shota heading to the ring to get this match on the way. So we get the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship match. Shota defends against Pac. And this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie to you. This was a fun match to watch. This was very fun to watch. Pac catches the champ by surprise with some stomps in the corner, sending Shota to the outside as the referee begins to count. Pac eventually brings Shota back into the ring for some more damage, but the champ makes it back to his feet and hits the ropes to send Pac down hard. Pac heads to the corner to get back to his feet, but so to his Shota, who is lands some shots on the challenger. Pac starts to break free, but is sent back into the corner for some more shots. Pac is taken to the canvas for some fisherman suplex as Shota gets a 2, and he follows up with a snap German suplex before driving him to the apron on his way to the outside. The referee starts a new count as Shota goes back after Pac, bringing him back into the ring for only for Pac to roll to the outside again. Shota with a running start as he lands a drop kick, driving Pac into the barricade, and then sends him to the floor with a draping DDT. The referee with another count up to 7 before Shota gets his opponent to the ring. He drops the challenger to the mat for a cover, but only gets a 2 count of his efforts. Pac starts to fight back before being sent to the outside, where Shota decides to grab a table from under the ring. Despite the referee's admonishment, he gets the table set up, but it's met with a thirst kick from Pac, who goes up top for a swan dive moonsault on sending the champ down hard to the floor. He brings Shota back in the ring, setting him up for a turnbuckle setting him up on a turnbuckle for an avalanche belly to belly suplex. He goes for the cover, but the champ kicks out at 2. Pac brings Shota back to his feet for some hard form strikes, and the champ crumbles to the mat. Shota slowly gets back to his feet as he trades strikes with Pac, but Pac sends him to the ropes for a suplex. The champ pops back to his feet not once but twice, only for Pac to host him up for a shoulder powerbomb over the top rope and through the table outside. He brings Shota back into the ring, heading up top for a 450 splash to get a 2 count, but immediately goes for a brutalizer to follow up. Shota is in pain as the referee checks on him. The champ managed to get a foot on the ropes to force a break. Pac immediately gets back up, heading up top for only Shota to dodge him. Pac goes for a headbutt, but the champ responds in kind, sending him to the canvas. Shota connects with a strike knee, but only gets a 2 count. Both men back to their feet as Shota goes to the ropes. He takes a reverse runner from Pac. Pac hits the ropes again, but runs into a big lariat from the champ, who gets another near fall as a result. Shota gives a shout to his old mentor John Moxley with a Paragon Shift DDT, followed by the Northern Lights Bomb for the win. The winner by pinfall is still your IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, Shota. This was a fun match to watch. Shota is presented with the title, allowing the champ to celebrate as we see John Moxley and Mauricio Field out here to talk with Pac. John Moxley slides into the ring, seemingly to confront his old young boy, but before anything further happens, out comes Hiroshi Tanahashi. The ace and president of New Japan makes his way down the ramp as John Moxley takes his lead through the crowd, and Tanahashi shows some respect for the champ by putting the belt around his waist before rising Shota's arm. With that, we go to a video package hyping the women's championship between Tekla and Starlight Kid of Stardom. Back at ringside, Starlight Kid comes out with an overmatch inspired by Justin Thunder Liger on her way to the ring before the champ gets a fire dance show for an entrance that Tekla heads down the ramp to get this match on the way. So we get the next match. So we get AEW Women's World Champion match. Tekla defends against Starlight Kid. And this was right here, I ain't even gonna lie to you, this was a decent match for what it was. Tekla looks for an advantage early on, but it's sent to the outside by the challenger. Tekla insists she's fine as she heads back into the ring, sneaking a boot to the kid before stomping away at her. She goes for the mask, and this fires SLK up as she turns things around before landing a few shots of her own on the champ before breaking away. Tekla gets to the ropes, only to be sent to the opposite side by the challenger, who takes her to the outside with a dropkick on the ropes. She goes for a moonsault, but it's pulled down hard by the champ, sending her face first into the apron. Tekla grabs the kid by the mask before launching her into the barricade. She follows up by proper SLK again against the railing for some punches before pulling the challenger away to send her into the barricade in front of the Stardom president. This gives the champ a good excuse to start getting into it with Taro Okara, only for SLK to block Tekla from landing a hard right hand. Tekla takes her frustration out on the challenger again, sending her into the ring for a boot on the throat and the 2 count. SLK with a cartwheel to get out of Tekla's grasp, but the Toxic Spider bites back with a hard kick, followed by the curve for 2. Starlight tries to fight back to her feet, but but to no avail as Tekla pulls her up and said, only for the kid to break free for a springboard crossbody. She goes for a cover off the Tiger fan kick, but only gets a near fall moonsault by the kid. Gets another 2 count. She changed things up with a stretch muffler attacking the knee of the champ before bringing her to the ropes for a leg whip. She goes for the stretch muffler again, but Tekla twists around to go after the match before taking her shoulder for a 2 count. Tekla heads to the ropes, baiting the kid in for a tarantula before the referee intervenes. The champ heads up top, but is caught with an arm drag by Starlight, who goes up this time. Only to take a right hand by Tekla to fight it out on the turnbuckle. Only Tekla connects with a spider suplex. The champ takes a little long to celebrate as this allows the kid to send her to the outside with a springboard drop kick. The fight ends up on the apron where SLK intercepts the champ with a knee strike, flash ahead the head, followed by a divine punishment onto the hard set part of the ring. Tekla is brought back into the ring, but the challenger who gets a Northern Lights suplex for 2. She goes for the cover for a moonsault, but Tekla dodges it before connecting with a spear. She goes for a stomp this time, but Starlight evades for a dropkick. Both women are down and slowly fighting back up with a trade of strikes. Crowd chants for both competitors as they get to their feet, still trading shots until SLK takes the champ to the knee with forearms. Once more, gets Tekla wobbly as the kid hits the ropes, running into a right hand by the champ. SLK is on the ropes when Tekla connects with a boot, sending her back to the canvas. She goes up top as SLK gets back up, allowing her to connect with a diving crossbody for a near fall. She heads to the corner for a spider pose, but the kid dodges a spear to attack the champ's knee. Numero dos is locked in as Starlight holds Tekla up, swinging her around before dropping her to the canvas. Tekla crawls towards the ropes, but is caught with the leg across the neck, keeping her trapped. SLK nearly traps the final limb here, but the champ nearly gets to the ropes to force the break, only for the kid to connect with another divine punishment covered by the kid, but the champ managed to kick out. Starlight heads up top for a moonsault, press another cover, and the champ kicks out again. SLK brings Tekla to her feet, only to be caught with an O'Connor roll, but she managed to kick out at 2 to save her title hopes. Tekla dodges a knee strike and lands a spear, but this is not enough for the win as SLK kicks out again. Tekla lands stumps on the challenger, pointing to the Stardom president before landing a second one to pick up the win. The winner by pinfall is still your AEW Women's World Champion Tekla. This was a fun match to watch. A visibly distressed Taro Okada watches on as Tekla celebrates her win. She is soon joined by Julia Hart and Sky Blue, who hands Tekla a pair of scissors. She cuts away at Starlight's kid mask, ripping it off her face as the referee is quick to get a towel to hold her face. Alright. The champ shows some massive disrespect by spitting into the mask and then attacking the Stardom president at ringside with it. Taro Okada is down as Tekla celebrates with the kid's mask and her title while heading up the ramp with her Triangle of Madness teammate. We go to a video package hyping up the World Tag Team Champions match up next. As Christian Cage and Adam Copeland defends against the Dogs back at ringside, the Dogs continue to mock the champs 5 second pose gimmick while also reminded me of Eminem. If you know, you know. Before attacking the paparazzi on their way to the ring, Adam Copeland is the first to make his entrance for the champ, taking advantage of how much the fans in San Jose want to sing along with this thing as he gets to the ring. Christian Cage is out next. The crowd cheering as he gets into the ring to get this match on the way. Alright, so we get the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage defends against the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors. This was a fun 60-man tag team match to watch. Alright. Christian Cage starts things off to a justifiable "Who's Your Daddy" chant, and Connors steps in. The two lock up, taking the fight to the corner. Christian Cage starts to get the advantage until Clark Connors lands a few shots to gain control. He gets Christian Cage in the corner before the referee intervenes, and this gives Christian Cage an opening for a sunset flip and a 2 count. The tag are made to Adam Copeland and David Finlay, who trades offense until Adam Copeland sends David Finlay to the side of the headlock. David Finlay rolls through a near fall, but Adam Copeland still has the hold in tight. David Finlay goes for one of his own, but is taken to the mat by Adam Copeland, who gets a tag to Christian Cage for the double team. Connors tries to get involved, but gets pulled into a sensitive spot on David Finlay and escapes the corner, where Christian Cage fires off some punches. He turns his attention to David Finlay, who tries to beg the champ off. Christian Cage deals with Clark Connors first, but gets sent to the outside where he lands on his previously injured wrist. The Dogs continues the attack until Adam Copeland forces them away, and Christian Cage is brought back into the ring for a near fall by David Finlay. Christian Cage starts to fight back, but is sent to the corner for some stumps. David Finlay gets a near fall by tagging in Connors, who continues to go after the arm off the champ. That tag made back to David Finlay, who rings the arm before pulling Christian Cage to the canvas. David Finlay mocks Adam Copeland to the point where the referee has to hold him back, not realizing the Dogs are double teaming Christian Cage in the corner. Christian Cage managed to fight back, but is unable to get a tag to Adam Copeland as the latter is pulled down hard by Connors. David Finlay brings back to the outside where he and Clark Connors trap his arm underneath the ring steps. Connors gets on the apron looking to do some major damage, but is intercepted by Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland brings his friend back to the ring, hoping for a tag, and he gets it. He fends off Clark Connors as David Finlay goes after the Rated R superstar, only to take an impaler DDT to the mat, allowing Adam Copeland to get a near fall. David Finlay heads to the corner, evading a spear before he and Connors go on the offense. They wait in the corner for a double team, but Connors is pulled out of the ring by Christian Cage. He set David Finlay up for a splash on the ropes by Adam Copeland. Clark Connors attacks Christian Cage on the outside before setting up for a high low on Adam Copeland, who managed to kick out. They set up the champ for a full clip, but Adam Copeland counters back with a suplex on David Finlay, sending him into the corner and sending him into Clark Connors instead. Adam Copeland goes for a spear, but David Finlay falls over him into a spear by Christian Cage instead. Christian Cage with the cover, but Clark Connors sends the ref into him to force a break. Adam Copeland heads to the corner, as does Clark Connors, and we go to dueling spear that force them both down to the mat. David Finlay grabs a shillelagh and drops Adam Copeland down hard with it, but the light suddenly cuts out only to reveal the Bang Bang Gang under a spotlight on the stage. They don't come down for a save, but you know who idea. the returning, the Switchblade Jay White, who pulled the weapon out of David Finley's hand before David Finley gets involved, gets leveled with a spear by Adam Copeland for the win. The winner by pinfall and still your AEW World Tag Team Champions, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. This was a fun tag team match to watch. But I was so happy to see the Switchblade Jay White. I'm so happy to see the Switchblade Jay White back on AEW. Alright, let me continue. Jay White leaves the ring to celebrate with his boys on the ramp. Jay White, the champs, celebrate their victory before we head to a video package hyping up the first of our triple main event, or as the OSW review boys who say, no main event, bruh. Never mind that. This is a big match in its own right, as the finals of the women's on hard tournament scenes. Maya World tries to finish a storybook run against the defending tournament winner Mercedes Moné. We head back to ringside as Maya World makes her entrance for the first of our on hard tournament finals. Out next is Mercedes Moné entering the ring to get this match on the way. Alright, so we get the On Hard Foundation Women's Tournament Finals. Mercedes Moné versus Maya World. This was a good match, but I knew that Mercedes Moné was going to win. Maya World tried to catch the CEO by surprise with some early near falls, but Mercedes Moné fights back from the ropes with a head scissors takedown, only for Maya World to pop back up, mocking the former TBS champion in the process. Mercedes Moné sends her to the corner, but Maya World fights back, sending her to the outside for a cannonball senton, sending Mercedes Moné to the floor. She heads back to the ring, and the defending tourney winner fall, only to be nearly caught in a statement maker by Maya World. She breaks free, forcing Maya World to the corner for a stump before sending her through the ropes to the outside. Mercedes Moné brings her opponent back into the corner, for a near fall, and this forced to back away from her in the corner. She charged for a running Meteora, but Maya World catches it and takes her across the ring. She then takes the CEO down hard with a suplex, but Mercedes Moné catches her in the corner to set up for a Meteora, driving her into the apron, and then one to the floor for a good measure. She brings Maya World back into the ring before going up top for one more Meteor in a pin, only for Moore to kick out. Mercedes Moné catches her in the corner for a boot to the throat, followed by a snap mirror to the center, running Meteor in the cover, but only gets the CEO a near fall. Mercedes Moné, hold on, it says Mercedes, hold on, it says right here. I finally found it. Give me a second, chat. Give me a second. I was right there, too. Well, give me a second, chat. Give me a second. I said chat. I'm sorry. Give me a second, guys. I don't know why I think I'm streaming or something, but give me a second. Give me a second. It says, where was I? Oh. It says Mercedes Moné brings her opponent back into the corner for a near fall and is forced to back away from her in the corner. She charged for a running Meteor, but Maya World catches it and takes her across the ring. She then takes the CEO down hard with a suplex, but Mercedes Moné catches her in the corner to set up for a Meteor, diving her into the apron, and then one to the floor for a good measure. She brings Maya World back into the ring before going up top for the one more Meteor in a pin, only for Maya World to kick out. Mercedes Moné catches her in the corner with a boot to the throat, followed by a snapmare to the center. Running Meteor in a cover, but only gets the CEO a near fall. Mercedes Moné responds to this by sending World to the outside, mocking her as the referee goes to check on Maya World by leading to the crowd to a fake 10 count before mocking the crowd by flipping them off. After bringing Maya World back into the ring, Mercedes Moné with a backstabber, holding on to a straitjacket position before taking Maya World to the corner. She goes for a double boot, but gets caught by Maya World, who lands a sunset flip for a 2 count. Mercedes Moné looks for a tombstone powerbomb before Maya World counters out, and things goes back and forth until Mercedes Moné lands a double stomp. She runs down Maya World verbally while shoving her, and this fires Maya World up as she gets to her feet for a fury of strikes. Mercedes Moné pulls her down by the hair, only to take a boot to the face before Maya World gets back up for a double stomp on the CEO. Both women slowly gets to their feet, only for Maya World to land a dropkick and a springboard twisted cutter for the cover, but Mercedes Moné managed to get a shoulder up just in time. Mercedes Moné, Maya World back up, and she lands a shining wizard on Mercedes Moné, who gets to the ropes to stop any further momentum. She fires back now, setting up for a series of vertical suplex, and the Three Amigos connects. Mercedes Moné pull away from the ropes, stepping on her on the way to the turnbuckle. She goes up top looking for a false splash, but takes a pair of knees instead. Maya World starts fighting back again until Mercedes Moné traps her in a statement maker in the middle of the ring. Maya World turns it around and she gets a boot on the ropes. Mercedes Moné tries to pull her away. Maya World gets a clutch for a 2 count. She lands a fallaway suplex for a cover. I don't know why I say slam, but fallaway suplex for a cover, but rolls through for a second one. She holds the CEO up one more time, looking behind her before sending her defending on her winner through the ropes and to the floor outside. The referee checks on Mercedes Moné as Maya World builds up speed for a dive through the ropes, bringing the CEO back into the ring before going back up for a diving senton bomb before Maya World, but it's only good for a 2 as Mercedes Moné kicks out. Mercedes Moné starts to fight back, turning things around as she looks for a powerbomb in the corner. Maya World fights out of that, but gets into the turnbuckles with a sunset flip bomb. But Maya World managed to kick out. She brings Maya World up looking for a long blower, but Maya World hits a head scissors to take her down instead. She goes for the cover, but Mercedes Moné turns it around, connecting with a moneymaker. But Maya World kicks out at 2. Much to carnage of the CEO, Maya World blocks a second moneymaker for a bridge and a 2 count, only for Mercedes Moné to land a kick to the head. Backstabber is blocked as Mercedes Moné gets back to the ropes, setting up on the apron for a sunset flip powerbomb, sending Mercedes Moné to the floor. She gets on the ropes for a springboard moonsault before taking Mercedes Moné back into the ring, climbing up top for a moonsault press off the middle rope. Maya World with a cover, but the CEO kicks out once again. Maya World goes for another cover, but is cradled by Mercedes Moné, Maya World kicks out before transitioning into the statement maker. Mercedes Moné crawls towards the ropes, only for Maya World to roll through, allowing Mercedes Moné to counter into a statement maker for her own. Maya World crawls to the ropes as Mercedes Moné tries to trap the arm. Maya World nearly gets the ropes, but is turned over for a pin, only to be countered into a pin of her own. This ends in a near fall as Mercedes Moné changes in a statement maker one more time. Maya World is trapped in the middle of the ring. As Mercedes Moné pulls back on a hold, forcing Maya World to tap. The winner by submission in your 2026 Women's Owen Hart Tournament winner, Mercedes Moné. This was a good match. What it was. Mercedes Moné has up the ramp to celebrate her win with some power with a nodding that she is heading to all in for a shot at the Women's World Championship. We head to an interview with Athena, who gives Mercedes Moné kudos for winning the Owen Hart again before running down Mayor World down for not being championship material. We get a video package hyping up our next match, a 12-man tag inside a collar steel cage. AEW is doubling death doors. We head to ringside for the entrance of both teams before getting this match on the way. So we get a 12-man death door steel cage match. MJF, Kevin Knight, and Kyle Fletcher takes Jake Doyle and Andrade Adil versus Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, and Darby Allin, and Konosuke Takeshita. This match was cinema. But this match was good, brutal at the same time, even though it was physical. All 12 men go at it to start things off, eventually clearing out the ring with MJF standing tall on the turnbuckle. He focused on watching the chaos continues as we see Jake Doyle powerbomb Darby Allin on the apron and then against the side of the cage. Okada sends Strong into the cage wall and Kevin Knight works on Jake Doyle to get a table from under the ring. MJF joins the attack, mocking Darby Allin with a stomp as Andrade helps set one of the table ups. Jake Doyle grabs another table from under the ring. This one with a team DCMJF design on it. The crowd lets Collins now how they feel. Don't call us now how they feel as MJF pulls on the apron to boos, while Andrade Adil gets in front of him to get some cheers instead. He starts to take off his pants, only to get into the argument with MJF, and things have broken down between the teams. Of Roderick Strong attacks them with a hockey equipment. In the meantime, Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly comes into the ring with a couple of backpacks. Kyle O'Reilly opens one back to reveal and reveals two unreveals in NSE console along with a pair of controllers that they attack Kyle Fletcher with. Kyle Fletcher hits Kyle O'Reilly with the console itself before Mark Briscoe opens another backpack, pulling out a pile of thumbtacks onto the canvas. Okada comes in for the save, sending Roger Strong to the outside where Jake Doyle swings him into the cage wall. Back in the ring, Kyle O'Reilly goes after Kyle Fletcher before being sent to the outside, but Mark Briscoe tries to intervene from the turnbuckle before being launched onto the thumbtacks instead. Darby Allin comes into the ring with a skateboard attack to attack Kyle Fletcher, only for MJF to attack him from behind. Darby Allin starts to fight back, looking to send the world champion on the thumbtacks, but a back body drop from MJF sends Darby Allin flipping up and over, landing on the thumbtacks and what appears to be one hitting him in the eye. MJF sends him to the outside before using a push broom to clear the thumbtacks out of the ring before he gets sent out of the ring by Mark Briscoe. Orange Cassidy opens the third backpack to reveal a note from Will Nightingale wishing the group luck inside a bag full of orange slices. The team gets some vitamin C before Kyle Fletcher tries to go after them, only to be propped up as Orange Cassidy unleashes Curtis hell upon the wounds of the protostar. Okada and Jake Dog clear this out before Takeshita cuts off the Rainmaker, and the two trade off offense before Okada takes a knee. The Alpha opens the final backpack, only to give Okada the gift of one finger salute. Okada can't help but smirk and at this, and he goes after him. And with Kyle Fletcher joining in, the only to be nearly caught by a Rainmaker lariat. Takeshita turns this around by grabbing Kyle Fletcher in the race slot. Kyle Fletcher grabs onto Okada but for a balance, but both men get sent up and over with a double German suplex by the Alpha. This leaves us to just Darby Allin and Kevin Knight in the ring, and the two fired off shots on each other until the former world champion sends the reigning TNT champion away from the corner. He sets up for something in the corner now, but is blindsided by Kevin Knight with a steel chair. Jake Dole props the chair up as Kevin Knight hits coast to coast dropkick, but it's only good for 2 as Mark Briscoe breaks it up. Mark Briscoe is quickly blindsided by MJF, who attacks him with a chair, mocking the crowd before digging into a cut on Mark Briscoe's head. MJF puts on his dynamite diamond ring before instructing Okada to put a weapon out from the hockey bag, but that weapon is actually Blackheart Leo Rush. It's fine, everyone, he knows, and he scales off MJF before taking a bite out of the heart of the Rainmaker. He heads back into the ring to knock Okada off the apron before looking to the world champ in his ring. He wants it. You see, MJF has had enough as he backs off from Leo Rush, who takes a Rainmaker lariat from Okada before the champ sends him to the outside. That part was funny when Leo Rush came out of that bag, said it's fine. That part was funny. He calls for Jake Dale and Kevin Knight to put him back into the back, but this just opens the champ up with an attack from Mark Briscoe in the end. Mark Briscoe gets a ladder and puts it over his head, spinning around to lay out the DCMF MJF. In the process, MJF leaves the ring, looking to avoid the wrath of the man who wants his title shot. MJF finally gets back into the ring, fighting it out with Mark Briscoe until a double team from Strong and Kyle O'Reilly ends with MJF being put through a table. Andrade draws Kyle O'Reilly into the corner, propping a chair against him for a running mirror before driving the chair into his face. Takeshita blindsides Andrade deal only to deal with Okada coming back to the ring. They trade strikes until Okada sends the Alpha to the apron. Takeshita blocks a tombstone attempt for a back body drop onto the apron, followed by a power drive knee. Kyle Fletcher catches Takeshita with a thirst kick, but the Alpha blocks a brainbuster to send the Protostar through a table with a blue thunder bomb. Back in the ring, MJF blocks a Jay Driller attempt with a low blow, but Orange Cassidy stops him from attacking Mark Briscoe with that AEW Dynamite ring. He takes a right hand instead, but this opens MJF with a Scorpion Death Drop by Darby Allin, followed with a coffin drop before going for a cover. Only going for a cover, and Kevin Knight goes for the UFO splash to break the pin, only for Darby Allin to roll away as Kevin Knight crashes onto MJF instead. Darby Allin sends Kevin Knight into the corner, but Kevin Knight heads to the top of the cage as Darby Allin follows close behind. There is a bag up there that Darby Allin left at the start of the match, and as Kevin Knight goes for a weapon and explodes, forcing Kevin Knight off the cage to the floor as Darby Allin hits a coffin drop onto the rest of the competitors on the outside. Back in the ring, Mark Briscoe lands a Jay Driller on MJF for the cover, but Jake Doyle breaks it up. He wallows Mark Briscoe with a steel chair before helping MJF to his feet. Jake Dawes starts to hold Mark Briscoe up for MJF to attack him with the ring, but he demands that Andrade do it as the crowd chants, "Take your pants off." Andrade Adil is hesitate and even tell MJF that MJF he won't, but eventually does his part as MJF charged at Mark Briscoe for only Andrade to drop Mark Briscoe aside and land a Dala dels Motoros on the world champion instead. He shouts at MJF as Jake Dawes shouts at him, only to be knocked away as Andrade Adil tears the team's shirt off to reveal one of his reads. FK don't FK done FK. MJF instead. Mark Briscoe is back on his feet and lands a J Driller on Jake Dawes for the win. The winner by pinfall, team Mark Briscoe. This was a very good 12 man tag team match. It was brutal and physical at the same time, and it was cinematic. And it was cinema at the same time. With the win, Mark Briscoe has earned a future shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. The rest of the group are torn between getting Leo Rush out of the bag and simply bringing that bag up the rim as they celebrate the win. Commentary takes a look at the upcoming survival of the fitness match for the TBS Championship on AEW Dynamite this Wednesday before shows Willow working on her comeback journey. Alright, we had backstage where Mark Briscoe cuts a promo. Will tries to, considering the audio issue, telling us he wants his world title shot as soon as possible, calling his shot for this Wednesday on Dynamite. We cut to a video package looking at the build to our final match of the night, the Men's Own Heart Tournament final between Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. Back at ringside, Will Ospreay makes his entrance first with a look invoking Bane of DC fame as he heads down the ramp. The crowd firmly in his corner as he steps into the ring, chanting his name along with the music. Not to be outdone, Swerve Strickland comes out with a look inspired by Lobo riding a motorcycle to the ring. We get introductions for both men before we get this main event underway. Alright. So we get the main event of the evening. This was the match I was waiting for. So we get the main event of the evening. The Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Final, Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. This was the match of the year. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland carried this main event. This was the match of the year. I don't care what nobody say. We start off hot with both men going at it, trying to bring things up to an end quick. Will Ospreay gets into the corner, but fights back, forcing Swerve Strickland to regroup on the outside. Swerve Strickland returns to the ring, but is quickly sent to the corner by Will Ospreay, only to fight back with a shoulder strike. Will Ospreay turns it around, dropping with Swerve Strickland to the mat. Swerve Strickland rolls back out of the ring for a breather. This gives Will Ospreay an opening for a dive over the ropes, dropping Swerve Strickland to the floor. In the process, he brings Swerve Strickland back into the ring for some kicks to the face. Swerve Strickland fights back for a bit before being sent into the turnbuckle by Will Ospreay. But Swerve Strickland turns it around as he drops Will Ospreay to the canvas. Will Ospreay takes a punch to the head that sends him reeling to the corner, and Swerve Strickland continues to target the neck when Will Ospreay is on the canvas. Will Ospreay tries to fight back, but is quickly sent back to the mat. Swerve Strickland continues to attack the neck, but Will Ospreay gets to his feet and fights back with a kick, knocking Swerve Strickland away before hitting the ropes for a corkscrew kick, sending him down. He lands a springboard kick for a cover, but only gets a 2 count. Swerve Strickland escapes to the corner, but takes a kick by Will Ospreay, sending him to the center. only to block a hidden blade for a kick of his own. He keeps Will Ospreay down with a backbreaker. Will Ospreay fights his way back to his feet, landing some harsh forearms in the process. He dodges an attack from Swerve Strickland and hits the ropes. Before Swerve Strickland catches him with a power slam of shorts of a 2 count. Will Ospreay rolls out of the ring as Swerve Strickland pulls off the bottom rope pad from behind to from Will Ospreay rolls out of the ring as Swerve Strickland pulls off the bottom pad from behind the turnbuckle, following Will Ospreay outside, only to be sent into the ring steps by Will Ospreay. He traps Swerve Strickland across. He traps Swerve Strickland in an arm cross in a cross arm breaker, but it's on the floor. So the referee is calling for Will Ospreay to break the hold. He finally does, as the referee looks away at Will Ospreay, takes a cup of coffee to the face by Prince Nana. He confronts Prince Nana about this. That allows Swerve Strickland to take control. He holds Will Ospreay up, and Will Ospreay looks to counter with the Hurricanrana, only to land hard on the ring apron instead. We see that Will Ospreay is bust open, but Swerve Strickland doesn't care as he brings Will Ospreay back into the ring. He mocks Will Ospreay as he continues to attack heading to the corner for a house call and running into a Spanish fly by Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay struggles to capitalize and gives Swerve Strickland a chance to turn things around, but not for long, as Will Ospreay counters back for a Styles Clash, courtesy of AJ Styles, covered by Will Ospreay, and Swerve Strickland managed to kick out at 2. Will Ospreay goes to the corner, charging at Swerve Strickland for a hidden blade, but it seems there's less speed and power as Swerve Strickland is standing, and this allows him to knock Will Ospreay down with a back elbow. He goes to the turnbuckle and ascends, only to be dropped on his little Strickland's to the top by Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay climbs up as the two fights it out on the top turnbuckle, and Will Ospreay sends Swerve Strickland to the mat with the Hurricanrana. Spinning guillotine connects, but it's only for good for 2. Will Ospreay goes for a Oz cutter, but Swerve Strickland catches him with a dead eye instead. He focus. I can't speak right. Spinning guillotine connects, but it's only good for 2. Will Ospreay goes for the Oz cutter, but Swerve Strickland catches him with a dead eye instead for a close near fall. Will Ospreay crawls to the apron where Swerve Strickland goes for a swerve stomp, but Will evades before Swerve Strickland to the floor. At first, looks like he goes for another Styles Clash, but instead swings Swerve Strickland around before sending him into the corner and ring steps. Swerve Strickland is now bust open as well, as the referee checks on him before Will Ospreay interrupts the slam. Swerve Strickland face first into the steel steps, with Swerve Strickland leans against the guardrail. Will Ospreay pulls the ring steps away and towards the announce table, where he takes the top off. He brings Swerve Strickland over as the referee calls him to stop. Prince Nana grabs Will Ospreay's leg to stop him, as this leads to Will Ospreay trying to take a swing at Prince Nana, only to be laid out with a house call off the table from Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland brings Will Ospreay back to the announcer table, but Will Ospreay fights back and drives him onto the desk with another Styles Clash. The referee begins to count as Will Ospreay slowly gets to his feet and back to the ring. The count reaches 8 when Swerve Strickland returns, but Will Ospreay lands a Oz cutter on the cover, only for Swerve Strickland to kick out at 2. Will Ospreay continues to attack, landing a rolling elbow and several forearms before dropping down for some hard punches on Swerve Strickland. The referee tells him to back off before starting a standing 10 count, and at 9, Strickland gets up and gets up just enough to shove the referee away. This opens him up for the hidden blade by Will Ospreay, but it's only good for 2. He brings Strickland back in the corner, setting him up on the top turnbuckle and only his shoulders before Swerve fights back, but both men end up in the middle of the ring exchanging near falls. Only until Will Ospreay pops out of a cover at 1 to land a hidden blade. This also gets a 1 count, and they end up sending each other to the mat. The referee begins the standing count here, reaching 8 before both men make it back to their feet, looking broken and bloody. A fight forever chant breaks out as the two stare each other down. They each take off the protective handgear, leading to a possibly bare knuckle fight of shorts. This gets to each corner and look ready to charge at each other. With Will Ospreay landed the hidden blade followed by a Stormbreaker, covered by Will Ospreay, and Strickland kicks out. Will Ospreay nearly collides with the referee as he hits the ropes, and this allows Strickland to land a low blow, followed by a verdict breaker. He goes for the cover, and this time it's Will Ospreay who kicks out. Strickland powers through for big pressure, making the cover once again. And once again, Will Ospreay managed to kick out. We see Jon Moxley and the Death Riders come to ringside, not to interfere, but to Will Ospreay to his feet. He gets to his knees before Strickland connects with a house call, but this only fires him up to his feet as he fights back. He sends Strickland to the ropes before setting up for a buckshot lyric, courtesy of Hangman Adam Page, landing it for the cover, but Strickland kicks out. Will Ospreay lands a Paragon Shift DDT. Will Ospreay lands a Paragon Shift followed by a Death Rider DDT, but he brings Strickland back up one more time, landing a Tiger Driver for the pin and the win. Alright. It says the winner by pinfall in your 2026 Men's On Hard Tournament. Winner, Will Ospreay. This was the match of the year between Will Ospreay and Strickland. Will Ospreay and Strickland carried this match from the beginning to the end, and they really told a story. Will Ospreay and Strickland got great chemistry together, and that's all I gotta say. Will Ospreay stands in silence for a moment as we see Strickland heads to the corner after taking a hard loss. Will Ospreay walks over for a chat through it's unclear what he tells his rival and opponent. Will Ospreay is presented with a trophy and a title belt by the Death Riders as Strickland takes his leave up the rim. Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley lifts Will Ospreay on their shoulders as we get pyro for the Owen winner. The graphic nothing that Will Ospreay is heading to Wembley Stadium for All In, and his shot at the AEW World Championship. The Death Riders take their leave through the crowd, allowing Will Ospreay to celebrate with Alex Windsor. The couple walk up the ramp, and Alex Windsor leaves to let Will Ospreay take his moment one more time. As AEW Forbidden Door comes to an end. Let me read you guys the AEW Forbidden Door quick results right quick before I give out my own opinion. 3-way tag, the Young Bucks defeated El Sky Team Unbound Forbidden Door Dream Match. 3-way tag, the Young Bucks defeated EI Sky Team in Unbound CO. Forbidden Door Dream Match, Kenny Omega defeated the New Japan Pro Wrestling Zack Sabre Jr. in a good match. AEW Continental Championship match, Jon Moxley defeated Bandito, which was also a good match. IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship Shota defeated Pac, which is also a good match. AEW Women's World Championship match, Tekla defeated Stardom, which is also a fun match as well. AEW World Tag Team Champions match, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage defeated the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors, which is also a good tag team match as well. But I like how Jay White returns. I'm glad that the Switchblade Jay White is back. As you can tell by the title of the thumbnail. Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament Finals. Mercedes Moné defeated Maya World, which is also a good match. In the Death Riders, no, I'm sorry, not Death Riders, the Death's Door Steel Cage match. Mark Briscoe, Kyle Riley, Roger Strong, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Kanushka the Cash Cut defeated MJL, Kevin Knight, and Kyle Fletcher, and Jay Dalton and Andrade El Deal, which is a this 12-man tag match was brutal. Was a good 12 was a good match, cinema, physical, and brutal at the same time. That was cinema. Alright, and here's my favorite part right here. The Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Finals. Will Ospreay defeated Swerve Strickland, which is Will Ospreay won, but the match between Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland for the Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Finals, that was the match of the year. And I don't care what nobody say. That was the match of the year, and one of the greatest matches of all time between Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. One of the greatest matches of all time. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland got great chemistry together. They really told a story from the beginning to the end, and they carried this main event. You saw the Death Riders at ringside, which is a good moment. But Alex Windsor was talking to Will Ospreay saw Alex Windsor. That was a good moment as well. Everything about AEW Forbidden Door was a good show, and I give the show a 10 out of 10. And if you guys, let me get my opinion what I think about AEW Forbidden Door. AEW Forbidden Door was a good pay-per-view. It was a 10 out of 10. I enjoy every match. That's all I gotta say from here. But AEW Forbidden Door and TNA Slammiversary was way better than WWE NXT of a Great American Bash, and that is facts by itself, and I'm not taking that back either. And I'm going to stand on business with that. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed my AEW Forbidden Door review on Heights, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning towards the end, because I knocked this review out of the park. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, because I deserve way more subscribers, because I'm sick and tired of being stuck at the same subscribers, because I deserve way more subscribers, because I'll be putting a lot of work into my content and editing my videos as well too. But follow all my social media down below in the description. Have a great Monday, and I'll see you guys tonight for my WWE Raw review on highlights. This your boy B-Boy Snatch Shine TV, aka what kind of snatch you want, because I got playing around. Have a great Monday. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club, Bullet Squad. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I will see you guys on my upcoming world premiere at 4 o'clock a.m. for my AEW Forbidden Door review on house at around 4 o'clock a.m. right on my YouTube channel. So stay too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.